Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to do theorem 13.1.1, the first theorem. The statement of the theorem is that if two sides of a triangle are unequal in length, so we are talking about a triangle and its two sides which are unequal in length. It means that both the sides will not be equal to one another. One side will be longer than the other. Okay, then if two sides are unequal, then the longer side has an angle of greater measure opposite to it. We have to prove that if two sides of a triangle are unequal in length, then the angle which is opposite to the longer side will always be greater than the angle which is opposite to the smaller side. But before starting the proof of the theorem, first we have to recall something, a few definitions. The first definition is that you need to know is that of an exterior angle. Okay, what do you mean by the exterior angle of a triangle? Suppose ABC is a triangle, then all the corner angles inside the triangle, they are called the interior angles. Okay, interior angles. Interior angles. And all the angles which which are supplement of this interior angles. Supplement of interior angles means the angles which make a sum of 180 degrees with these angles. For example, if I take this interior angle, then its exterior angle will be this one, because the sum of these two is 180 degrees. So I will say that if this is angle 1 and if this is angle 2, then angle 2 is an exterior angle of the triangle. Okay, this is one of the exterior angle, and if I extend this line, okay, then this angle will be the exterior angle. This is angle, let me name it as angle 3. Similarly, when I extend this line, this will be angle 4, angle 2, angle 3 and angle 4. They are all exterior angles of this triangle. Now these angles, the angles inside the triangle, are called the interior angles. Okay, 1, 2, 3. These three angles are interior angles, and the angles which make an angle of 180 degrees, or you can say that which are supplement of these angles. Okay, for example, the supplement of 1 is 2 because their sum is 180. We already know the supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are those angles which make an angle of 180 degrees when they are added. So this is called the exterior angle. Angle 3 is also exterior angle because it is making a sum of 180 degrees with this interior angles. Okay, so the supplement of these interior angles are called exterior angles. Now there is a theorem which tells us about the exterior and interior angle, the relation between them, and this interior angle is adjacent to this exterior angle. Okay, we say that adjacent means it is joined with it. This is the adjacent interior angle of angle 2, and these two are the non-adjacent. Okay, because they are not joined with 2. So this is the adjacent. This is the adjacent interior angle of angle 2, and these two which are not joined with 2 are called the non-adjacent angles of this angle and this angle. These are called the non-adjacent interior angles of angle 2. Okay, because these are those interior angles which are not joined with 2. The ones which are not joined are called the non-adjacent, and the ones which are joined, the one which is joined will be called the adjacent angle of angle 2 of this exterior angle. Okay, for example, if I take angle 4, this is the adjacent. This angle in this interior angle will be the adjacent interior angle of this angle 4, and these two will be the non-adjacent 4 angle, because these two are away from 4, they are not joined with 4. Okay, so and the theorem that you need to remember is that an exterior angle that we are going to use in an exterior angle is always Now, the theorem that you need to remember is that an exterior angle of a triangle is always greater than the non adjacent interior angles. Okay, an exterior angle is always greater than the non-adjacent interior angles. For example, this is angle 2, this is an exterior angle. This will be greater than these two angles because they are the non-adjacent interior angles of this angle. Okay, angle 2 will be greater than this angle and as well as this angle. Okay, the other two interior angles with which angle 2 is not joined. Similarly, angle 4 will be greater than these two, okay, the ones which are away from those angles. And angle 3 will be greater than which two angles? This is angle 3, this is the angle which is adjacent with 3. So we are talking about the non-adjacent one. Okay, the non-adjacent angles of angle 3 are these two. This is angle 3, so the non-adjacent will be these two because they are not joined with 3. Out of 3 interior angles, 2 will be non-adjacent and 1 will be adjacent. We are talking about the non-adjacent one. This exterior angle will be greater than these two non-adjacent interior angles. Similarly, angle 2 will be greater than these two because these are the non-adjacent one. And if we consider angle 4, it will be greater than these two interior angles, non-adjacent interior angles. Okay, so this is what we need to remember because we are going to use it in the proof of theorem at 13.1.1. So let's start the theorem. The statement of the theorem is that if you have two sides of a triangle such a way that, now let us suppose we have a triangle A, B, C. Okay, and suppose, let me draw it in such a way that, let me take this triangle. Okay, like this, A, B and C. Okay, now if two sides of a triangle are unequal in length, okay, for example these two sides, they are unequal in length, one side will be longer than the other. They are talking about two sides. Okay, let's suppose these sides are AC and AB. Okay, any two sides which are unequal. Okay, let us take AC and AB for example. So they are saying that if the longer side is AC, suppose longer side is AC, then the angle opposite to AC will be angle B. Okay, opposite means in front of the side or the angle which is facing the side. Okay, this will be the angle which is opposite to this side. And also if you have the angles opposite to AB, we have angle C. Okay, then if AC is greater than AB, okay, they are saying if this side is longer and this side is shorter one, then the angle opposite to this side, what is the which angle is opposite to this side? Angle B. Then angle B will also be greater than angle C because angle C is opposite to the shorter side and angle B is opposite to the longer side. So the relation between the sides and the angles is the same. The angle which is opposite to AC will be greater than the angle which is opposite to AB because AC is greater than AB. So the angles which are opposite to the longer side will always be greater than the angle which is opposite to the shorter side. So this is given to us. Okay, and we are going to prove this. So this is statement of the theorem that if you have unequal side, then the angle which is opposite to the longer side will be greater than the angle which is facing the shorter side, and this side is greater than this side. So the angle which is opposite to this longer side, that is B, it will be greater than this angle C which is facing the shorter side. Now let's start the theorem. Well, this was the main concept of this theorem. We have to prove it. We are going to take a triangle and then we are going to do a few steps of construction, and with the help of that we are going to prove our theorem. So let us take a triangle ABC. Okay, and suppose that if two sides of a triangle are unequal, let the two sides be given as triangle ABC, okay, and two sides let them be, let us take AC and AB. The two sides are given such that AC, measurement of AC is greater than measurement of AB. Okay, suppose this is the longer side, the AC one. So we need to prove that angle B, which is opposite to the longer side, is greater than angle C, which is opposite to the shorter side. Okay, so we need to prove that angle ABC. Okay, angle ABC, measurement of angle ABC is greater than measurement of angle, let me put it a bit larger so you can, this is the measurement of angle ABC is greater than measurement of angle ACB. Okay, this is the angle sign. So we need to prove that this angle B will be greater than this angle C. Angle ABC will be greater than angle ACB. In order to prove it, we need to do a few steps of construction. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to measure AB, okay, and then we are going to cut off a segment AD, or we are going to take a point D on AC such that AB, and as this side is longer, so we can easily cut off this much length from this side. Now suppose that segment which is equal to AB, we are going to take a point D where this AB is equal to AD. Okay, you are going to take D at such a point that AD and AB are the same. Then you are going to join B to D, okay, and so it means angle. Now name this angle as angle 2 and this angle up till here. Okay, this angle. This is angle 1. Okay, this one. This is angle 1, only the shaded one. Name this as 1 and name this as 2. So what we have done, take a point. We have taken a point D on AC such that AB becomes congruent to AD. Okay, we have taken this point after measuring this, taking AB. If this is suppose 5 centimeter, we are going to cut off a segment of 5 centimeter from here and put D in such a way that this length and this length are equal. So AB will be equal to AD. AD and AB are equal, so it means it is going to be an isosceles triangle. This one, ABD will be an isosceles triangle. And name the angles as angle 1 and angle 2 in the figure. Okay, so this is going to be the construction, and now we are going to start the proof of the theorem. Okay, in order to start the proof, now let me write the key points of given and construction and erase all of this so we have enough space for the proof. We have done the statement also, so we don't need to write all this. Okay, let me erase it and write. In given, the main key point that we will use is that measurement of AC is greater than measurement of AB. Okay, we have a triangle ABC and we need to prove that measurement of angle ABC is greater than measurement of angle ACB. Okay, and we have done the construction also, and in that what we the main thing that we are going to use is that AB is congruent to AD. Okay, I have written the key points which I am going to use in the proof. After doing the given and the proof and construction, you are going to write that in detail. Okay, I am doing it because I don't have enough space over here. So let us start the proof of the this theorem. The proof will be, and let me raise this figure also. I will draw it again. Okay. Now proof of the theorem, here I am going to write statements, and over here I will write reasons. Okay, first of all, consider triangle ABD. We know that it is an isosceles triangle, okay, in which both these sides are equal. We know that if two sides are equal, then the angle opposite to those sides are also equal. Or you can also say that in an isosceles triangle, the base angles are always congruent. Okay, so in triangle, consider triangle ABD. Okay, in triangle ABD, considering triangle ABD, we know that AB is side AB is congruent to side AD, so the angle opposite to these sides are also going to be congruent, as we have did this in theorems in class 8, that the angle opposite to congruent side are always congruent. So measurement of angle 1 will be congruent to angle 1 will be, you can just write, angle 1 will be congruent to angle 2 because they are angles opposite to congruent sides. Okay, angle opposite to these are the angles which are opposite to congruent sides. So angle 1 will be congruent to angle 2. Now in triangle, consider triangle BDC. Okay, consider triangle BDC. In this triangle, C is the interior angle. Okay, and if you look at angle 2, this is an exterior angle of this triangle because it is a supplement of this angle. Okay, this angle. So as it is a supplement of this angle, so it is an exterior angle to this triangle, and angle B and angle C, this angle, okay, the dotted one, this angle and this angle, these are the known adjacent interior angles for angle 2. So angle 2 will be greater than both of these angles. It means angle 2 will be greater than angle C. Okay, because this is an exterior angle of this triangle, triangle BDC. If you look at triangle BDC, angle 2 is an exterior angle because it is a supplement of this interior angle. Okay, this angle is supplement of this, so it is an exterior angle. And as I have already told you that the exterior angle is always greater than the known adjacent. These two are the known adjacent interior angles of this exterior angle. So angle 2 will be greater than these two angles. Also angle 2, we can say, we are just concerned about angle C. Okay, so I'm going to use this only, angle 2 greater than angle C. Angle 2 will be, measurement of angle 2 will be greater than measurement of angle C. Okay, or you can write ACB, measurement of ACB. This is because exterior angle of a triangle is always greater than the known adjacent interior angles. Okay, angle 2 will be greater than angle ACB because angle 2 is an exterior angle and it is greater than the known adjacent interior angles. This is the reason for this portion. Okay, Angle 2 is greater than angle ACB, but we know that angle 2 and angle 1 are congruent. Let me name this equation as this. And this equation as angle inequality as 2. Now if angle 2 is greater than ACB and angle 1 and 2 are same, so it means angle 1 will also be greater than ACB. Okay, we can say that measurement of angle 1 is greater than measurement of angle ACB. The reason for this is that from 1 and 2, okay, angle 2 is greater than ACB. We know angle 2 and angle 1 are congruent, then therefore we can say that angle 1 will also be greater than ACB, because these two angles are the same. So if 2 is greater than ACB, angle 1 will also be greater than angle ACB. You can name this equation as the third equation. Okay, now let me erase this because we are going to do the next step. Now moving forward, let me write this somewhere here. Okay, angle 1, measurement of angle 1 is greater than measurement of angle ACB. Okay, this angle 1 is greater than ACB. This is equation 3. Now measurement of angle 1 is greater than measurement of angle ACB. This was equation 3. Okay, let me write it here better. Angle 1 is greater than measurement of angle ACB. Okay, I have written it again and erase it from here so it won't look weird. Okay, this is equation 3. Now so angle 1 is greater than this angle, okay, angle ACB. This is what we have gained up to now. This information is that ACB, this angle will be less than this angle, the half this angle, okay, angle 1. Angle 1 is greater than angle C. So we have proved that angle 1 is greater than this angle. Now we have to prove that this full angle is less than is greater than angle C. Okay, this full angle. Now it's very easy to see. This angle ABC, okay, the one that we need to prove. This angle is made up of two angles. The first one is angle 1 and the second one is angle DBC. This full angle is made up of these two angles. So this angle will definitely be greater than angle 1. Okay, as you can see, because these two angles add up to give this angle. So obviously the sum is always greater than the component angles. Therefore this angle ABC will be greater than angle 1. Okay, let me write it. Measurement of angle ABC is equal to measurement of angle 1 plus measurement of angle 1 plus measurement of angle DBC. Okay, DBC. Angle ABC, okay, this whole angle is the sum of these two angles, angle 1 and angle DBC, this one, the dotted one. Angle ABC is the sum of these two angles. It means that these two angles add up to give ABC. Then according to, this is angle addition postulate, okay, angle addition postulate. Because these two angles add up to give angle B, so angle B can be written as, angle ABC can be written as the sum of these two angles. This postulate is called angle addition postulate. Now angle ABC, as it is clear from here and from the figure also, that angle ABC is greater than angle 1. Okay, measurement of angle ABC is greater than measurement of angle 1, as it is clear from the figure also, and from this also, from 4. Okay, because angle ABC is measurement of angle 1 plus some other angle. Okay, it means two different angles sum up to give ABC. So ABC will be greater than angle 1 also, and this angle also. Okay, the component angles will be smaller than this whole angle. Now angle ABC is greater than angle 1. Name this as equation 5. Now if I sum up these two, angle 1 is greater than ACB and angle 1 is less than angle ABC. Let me write it in a line, then you will get to the result. Now we have measurement of, let me write this one first. ABC is greater than measurement of angle 1 according to this equation that we have got, and from this equation angle 1 is greater than ACB. Okay, this angle, we are talking about three angles. This is the first angle, this is the second angle. Now angle 1 is greater than ACB. It means that angle 1 will be greater than measurement of ACB. Okay, these are three angles. Angle ABC is greater than angle 1 and angle 1 is greater than ACB. It means that this is from third and fifth. Okay, from equation 3 and equation 5, combining these two equations we get this result. Now if ABC is greater than 1 and 1 is greater than ACB, then definitely ABC will be greater than ACB. Okay, because it is greater than an angle which is greater than ACB. So it means that angle ABC is greater than measurement of angle ACB. This is the transitive property of real numbers. Okay, what is the transitive property? Transitive property is that if you have three numbers, okay, I am explaining this property. If you have three numbers A, B, C, okay, and if A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then obviously A will also be greater than C, because A is greater than a number which is greater than C. It means the smaller, this will be the smallest side. The smallest number. So A will be greater than B, and if B is greater than C, then A will definitely be greater than C. For example, we have three children and they have height 1. The height of the first one is he has more height than the second student, and there is a third student who is shorter than H2. Okay, so the most heighted one will be this one, and then we have the height of the second and the height of the third. Now if this height is greater than the height of this student, then obviously he will be taller than the third student. Okay, so H1 will be greater than H3. You have three students, and if the height of the first one is greater than the height of the second one, and the height of the second one is greater than the height of the third one, it means that the first student is taller than the second and the second is taller than the third, then obviously the first will be taller than the third also. So using this property, this is called transitive property of real numbers. Okay, it is true for any three quantities having this relation. If you have this relation, you can deduce this one. So a measurement of ABC is greater than measurement of AC, and this is what we needed to prove. Okay, this is the statement that we needed to prove. So what we did is we took AD congruent to AB, okay, and we named these angles at angle 1 and 2. Angle 1 and 2 are the same. Now 2 is the exterior angle, so it is greater than angle C. So angle 1 will also be greater than angle C. If angle 1 is greater than angle C, then this whole angle, which is angle 1 plus some other angle, will definitely be greater than C, because this whole angle is itself greater than 1 and 1 is greater than C. Okay, so angle B will also be greater than angle C, and this is what we needed to prove. Okay, so here ABC is greater than angle 1 and ABC is greater than angle 1. Okay, and angle 1 is greater than ACB. So ABC will be greater than ACB. This is the transitive property. If this angle is greater than angle 1 and angle 1 is greater than ACB, then obviously this angle will be greater than ACB, because this will be the smallest of all these three angles. Therefore, I have written ABC is greater than ACB, and this completes the theorem. Okay.